Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery here. It's a beautiful Monday morning, April 25th, 2022. We're down to the final week of April. It's our pleasure to be with you here, as we are most weekday mornings at 8 o'clock Central, to talk about strategies, tips, techniques, success stories. And we're very pleased to announce what we're affectionately calling the free 4-week funding program 2.0. So many thank yous to Scott Stroud, our Chief Marketing Officer, and those of you that have provided valuable input as we have sought to improve the automation. So the program, the proposition to the client hasn't changed from 1.0 to 2.0, but we essentially needed to move to a new iteration whereby we had unique landing pages for each of you, with automated tracking and automation in terms of email and text. And so that is live. On the left-hand side of my screen here, you'll see 4weekfunding.org, and we will get you, obviously at no cost, a replicated version of this, a unique link, so you can drive your leads to this and put them in here. And I'm going to describe in a moment what happens after this is submitted. The relevance is that you probably will want to refrain just putting people's information in here, although you can do that, and that's acceptable. But if you guide them to your link, your landing page, your version of this, which will look the same, but this will be hard-coded to you, you're going to see higher conversions, because they better know what they're going to get. There's essentially a two-step process. This is the first step. So they put in their first name, last name, email, phone. The referred by is not important because you'll have your own link. It'll be hard-coded to you, and then they can identify if they want to be a referral partner or not. Regardless, they hit the blue bar, then it's going to take them over to the terms and conditions. And as we're going to talk about the proposition in a moment, it is free to them, so they don't have to pay, they don't have to provide any payment information. But if you're just putting in their information here, you hit the blue bar, it's going to take, again, well, then it's going to take you to the terms and conditions. And obviously, unless you have a power of attorney, you shouldn't be signing up other people. So now that we're giving out the free URLs, the free landing pages, I would not recommend you putting their information in. I would recommend you driving them to your page. But before we dig too deep into that, let's go ahead and talk about that there are different ways to submit clients in. Let's go through these briefly, and then we'll dig into your questions. So as we were just talking about on the left-hand side here, the free 4-week funding program, affectionately called 2.0, is live and operational. Let's review what's the benefits to the client, what the benefit is to you, and then how to submit. Okay. So certainly being free to the client is great. There is a cost for this program. The cost is $2,500. The cost is completely covered by the grant that we applied for and that we received. Thus, the client has no cost. We do not ask the client for any payment information. It is free to the client. So that alone is a strong bullet, a strong selling point, because people like free. What is it that we do? Well, it's the same 4-week process, the small business certification that's built into the access to capital, that's built into the free funding proposal. It's what we do to build financial literacy, build a lender compliant loan package, and then be able to identify if there's any credibility gaps to help the client become qualified for the funding that they need. So that is included. They're not getting something less or something limited or a light version, if you will, by doing the free program. They're getting the full 4-week program. It is fast. It's a 4-week process. Now, you might have a client that's not very financially literate and says, well, I don't want to build a loan package. I don't want to become credible. I just want millions of dollars. Well, I mean, if you already qualify for millions of dollars and you have everything ready for that, this is probably not the right option. We'll talk to you in just a moment about different options you could make available to them. But you don't have to trust me. I think it's logical. Most small businesses do not have enough credibility on paper when they start the process to get what they want. That's why we need to go through these steps. That's why what you and I do is so important and so valuable, so needed. But the good news is it's a 28-day process, which is obviously less than a month. They will receive personalized mentoring. I know there are some questions of, oh, if it's the free program, then it's just do it yourself. That's not the case at all. All of our mentors are either current or former SBDC advisors, SCORE mentors, and or business college professors. This isn't Joe Schmo that has a GED and he's a former used car salesman that's out mentoring these clients. Not the case at all. It's a very credible curriculum. This is was developed by the FDIC. It is promoted by the SBA. Just to clarify, and I don't think this was always obvious, as they're working with their mentor, they can go to funding immediately. If they don't want to wait until the end of the 28 days, we can go ahead and go to funding, what we've commonly called the first tranche, right away. It's not necessarily encouraged, but if that's what they want to do, then we can go to funding even while they're going through the 28-day process, or we can wait until afterwards. Or again, they could just say, no, I don't want any funding. I just want to go through the curriculum, and that's an option for them as well. They're not required to take any funding. There's no performance fee built into the free 4-week program. There's really no strings attached. What they do receive is at least 10,000 under their EIN. And so we'll call that business credits. It's based upon the business's credibility, not the individual. So there's no use of personal credit. Could it be more than 10,000 during that first month? Sure. But what we're talking about is within the first month. You know, we've seen people build their business credit and go buy large purchases, real estate, automobiles, and so forth. It doesn't report on their personal credit. But regardless, what is included in the free 4-week funding program, that is, again, free to the client, is at least 10,000 under their EIN. So we jokingly say that it's not only free, we'll actually pay you to participate. So those are the primary bullets of the client proposition. Very strong. I don't want to be too offensive, but I think you'd have to be weak to not be able to attract clients with this value proposition. It's free to them. They're getting what they need to be able to qualify for a larger capital raise. It's fast. They're getting personalized assistance. It's credible. If they want to go to funding, we can do that right away or at the end of 28 days or not at all if they don't want to. And we're essentially paying them to participate. Strong value proposition. If you've not gone through it, encourage you to do so. We'll talk about how to do that in just a moment. Of course, each of you have to answer the question of what's the benefit to you? What's in it for you? And I respect that. Well, number one is it's easy. It's easy, right? You're giving something away. We're giving you a landing page now with the hard work that Scott's done over the past week or so. So the clients need it. It's valuable. It's credible. You get the free landing page. And so then you're going to earn 5%, 5 points of the client's capital raise. Now, don't consider this 10,000 under the EIN part of that, because we're not charging the client any performance fee for this. This is free to the client. But separate from that, if the clients do want to go to funding, which they could choose to do immediately or after the 4-week process, or granted, not at all, then if you're the referral source, you're going to earn 5 points. Average capital raise of 100,000, 5% of 100,000 is 5,000. That's where the math is. So how to submit clients? Painfully simple, right? you're going to go to 4weekfunding.org, which is this. And then first you're going to put yourself in and obviously click yes, go through the steps, doesn't cost you anything. And then you'll get a unique landing page that you can submit clients to. We'd like you to go through the process itself, because that's the best way to educate you of how it works, and you would receive all these benefits as well. So the free 4-week funding program we affectionately call 2.0 is one of the 3 ways that clients can be submitted. And we've gone through the client proposition, the benefits to you, and how easy it is to submit clients, which again is come to 4weekfunding.org, fill this out, click yes. You'll get your own unique link free. There's no production requirements, no strings attached. You'll drive your prospects to your page that'll look just like this, but this box is going to be hard coded to you. That way you're in the loop for reporting, you're in the loop for payment, and so forth. As I mentioned at the beginning of the Zoom today, I would not recommend, based on our experience, I would not recommend you just dumping in a bunch of names here, because you could do that. And Scott has built automation where they'll get email prompts and text prompts, but it's very powerful if you have a client come to your page, because as soon as they go to, once they fill this out, click the blue bar, it'll literally take them to the terms and conditions where they can accept those and then start. If you're the one putting their information in, obviously you don't want to accept the terms and conditions for them. You don't want to falsify a signature. So the automation will remind them if they've done this step, but not the next step. But it's best if you drive them to your page, they're familiar with the value proposition here, and then they go through the steps. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, next, free funding proposal. The free funding proposal has worked out pretty well, maybe too well. So the free funding proposal is a campaign that we're going to continue to offer. It's almost as the name suggests. Clients or prospective clients, small businesses can go there and get a free funding proposal. You don't have to mentor, you don't have to do anything. You just essentially get paid the same 5% of the client's capital raise. And there's a unique page for that. Here's what the problem has been, and I'll share with you the problem and the solution. So the problem is a bunch of you have submitted a bunch of leads to this, and they were cold leads. So then we start sending out the funding proposal Adobe, they're getting it, and they think they're being spammed, right? It's like, well, I didn't request any information. Why are they asking me this information? Because we have to have more information to getting them a funding proposal than we do to take them through the free 4-week. I'm telling you, on the free 4-week, we don't ask them their social. We don't ask them their date of birth. We don't ask for any payment information. But for the free funding proposal, we have to ask for enough information to get them a funding offer. So now we're asking for personal information. So what didn't work well, some of you that are great marketers were dumping leads in. We were sending out thousands of Adobes, and then Adobe's red flag goes off, right? Because it's like, wait, we're getting a bunch of spam complaints. And we're like, well, we're not spamming. We got the lead from a referral partner, and then we sent them the proposal. So what's happening is the project for Scott for next month is going to be to integrate in an online process, an online application instead of Adobe for this. So right now, while this website is up, these leads are being dropped into this process until Scott builds that out. Because again, we have to get them the application to fill out. There is no funding proposal without a completed application. Well, if we do it online, then they're able to fill it out if they want, skip it if they don't want to, of course. But with Adobe, the problem was some of you were dumping in so many cold leads, so many Adobes were going out. There were too many spam complaints. Again, not a spam to us because it's a lead we received, but you can see why that could be an issue. So this will be up and operational next month right now, any leads that are coming through free funding proposal are being dropped into this sequence. You still get credit for it, but it's just a different sequence temporarily. And then our bread and butter continues to be our white label partnership program. Many of you are white label partners. And so I didn't feel the need to have to break that down quite as much, but as a white label partner, you control the client's pricing, you control their terms and conditions. You decide if you want them to just be let go if they don't want to continue. You're in charge because the contract's with you. As far as earnings, as a white label partner, you decide how much you want to charge them. Normally, you're collecting $2,500 up front, meaning after their first round of capitals raised, their first tranche. Normally, you're charging 10, 15, 20% performance fee, but that's up to you. So I can't tell you how much you would make as a white label partner because you control that. You can, as always, sign up as a white label partner if you want to do this. We have separate training and support to assist you. So with that being said, what I'd like to do is open it up for questions. Anyone that has questions, comments, or concerns, you'll just type it into the Q&A, the question and answer. It's like a chat box. Sharon, I see you have your hand up. If you'll go ahead and type your question in. Does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns on the relaunch of the free 4-week funding program? We call it 2.0, or the other submission methods. All right, so Timothy is a white label partner, and he's asking, as a white label partner, how does he use this? Well, I think you have a choice, Timothy, that you could either market this free offering, generate your sales funnel, of course, drop them in to this page, which you'll have your unique link, and then you'll be obviously notified as they enroll, or even if they don't enroll, but you'll be notified as they enroll. And so then at any time thereafter, you could pivot them, Timothy, or white label partners in general, to the full access to capital program. So this could be used as your door opener to get them engaged, and then you could upgrade them if you want. You could upgrade them at any point, letting them know that, hey, we can go ahead and get your first tranche immediately, or you could wait until the end of the 4-week process. So I think many of our white label partners are going to go to market with this because of the strong value proposition. And then we've got our mentors that are working with them, creating value, creating credibility, creating a relationship. And then any of you that are white label partners who want to help them upgrade into the full access to capital, which is referenced down here, you can do so. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so Sharon asked, will we be notified when Scott will have the new funding proposal ready? Yeah, we'll let you know when this new model is available. Keep in mind, though, you can feed them into the free 4-week funding program now. We will offer for them if they would like to go to funding. It's not required. It's not built in. It's a separate decision. That way that they're not required to do anything. So we can take them to funding as soon as they want. But yes, Sharon, the full free funding proposal, I think that'll be done by mid-May. That's the next big project Scott's working on, for the reasons I've described. Let's see. So Hannah's asking, so that's right. This is a new campaign. And again, there's no cost to be an affiliate or a referral partner of this, but it's a new campaign. It sits in a new database. And so if you want to have a link for this, then you need to come to this page, Hannah or anyone else, fill this out, click the yes, and then the system will generate a link for you. So it's going to be a different link than any link that you have currently, because it's a different campaign feeding into a different database with different follow-up. Hopefully that makes sense. It's not uncommon for different campaigns to have different links. And so each campaign has a different link, and you need to fill this out if you want the link. All right, so Sharon asks, will you're going to be in the information flow, Sharon. You'll know, because again, this is hard coded to your entry in our database. So people will use your link. It'll look just like this, but it'll be a different URL, it'll be a unique link to you. And so they'll fill this out. It'll notify you, and you'll see them in your back office. And all that's free. We're not selling you a back office, not selling you replicated sites. Doesn't cost anything to be a referral partner. Free. Thank you, Sharon. Hector's asking about payment. So the referral partners are paid on a weekly basis. You'll see the terms and conditions, of course, when you go through these steps. And so we normally send that via wire. If you don't want wire, we could discuss other options, but most business-to-business transactions, Hector, are wire or ACH, and that's how we have historically paid. So we will wire you the commissions that you've earned off this campaign itself that Hector's asking about. Hector would expect to earn about $5,000 for each client that he submits on his page, his link. And so, it's not get rich quick. I don't know if it's enough money that's going to change your household budget or not, but for essentially just referring a client for this value proposition, which is very strong, doesn't cost them anything, then to earn an extra $5,000 a pop is not bad. There's some people who make $5,000 in a week, and you could make it in about 1 minute submitting someone. Let's see. So you'll keep current. John has a current landing page for that's a good question. So John, we'll have to check with Scott in terms of the landing page that you currently have. I think you should migrate over, because the landing page that you currently have, John, I don't think feeds in to the new database that has been created. So let me retract that. John says he already has a landing page for the free 4-week funding program. And so I'll answer more confidently. Yes, John, you should go ahead, go to 4weekfunding.org, fill this out, click the top button, get your landing page on 2.0. Sharon's responding back with a compliment, and I agree. This is built around the concept which we've talked about before, which is called a freemium concept, whereby we provide a valuable proposition to the client, and they don't have to pay for it. Just like you can go to Adobe, you can go to DocuSign, you can go to Facebook. We've talked about the gaming industry. You can go to Fortnite. You can play Fortnite for free. However, if you want more, you get more. And so the clients are getting a wonderful value proposition. If they do want help with funding, then we would help them take that next step, which is optional. It's not a shell game. It's not bait and switch. It's optional. And if they want help taking this value proposition that they've received to go to funding, separate from the business credit, which is free to them, it's built in, then they would agree to pay a performance fee. And that performance fee is what would fuel the commissions to you. So it would be very clear and transparent. They can choose to do that, not choose to do that. But obviously, that's typically what small businesses want. They want the outcome of the process. So we can help them build their financial literacy, number one. We can help them build a lender compliant loan package, number two. And number three, we can also help them become more credible to help them access the capital they need. But taking this approach, I think it's beyond criticism. Who could find any criticism? And I'm open. I guess I'll offer a friendly challenge. You can be a devil's advocate. As you look at this value proposition, what do you find wrong with it? What is something about this that doesn't seem right, that doesn't seem good, that doesn't seem valuable? Because to me, it's outstanding, and I'd love your constructive criticism. When we've eliminated the cost, we give them the full value proposition. It's a fast process. They get full mentoring. It's not like, oh, go figure it out on your own because you're not paying anything. It uses award-winning curriculum. If they want help to go to funding, we can do that either right away or after the process, or not at all if they don't want our help with that. And we're going to essentially pay them to participate. We're going to help them build their Dun & Bradstreet profile, their Experian business, their Equifax business, and help them access funding, credit, capital under their EIN with no use of personal credit. Any questions, comments, concerns that you'd like to address today? So Scott, thank you so much for all of your diligent work on this. Thank you for all of you that have contributed to ideas and thoughts. And so again, the value proposition to the client, the free 4-week funding program is largely the same as it has been. What makes it 2.0 is instead of having a manual process, now it's automated. You get your own unique link, your own URL, your own site for free. You drive people to your site, you'll automatically get credit, you'll automatically get reporting. And I think it's a win-win. Now, sometimes you'll have clients that will, well, we'll come back to that. So Hannah's asked about clients that have already been submitted. So all the clients that have been submitted previously on 4weekfunding.org have either been processed or we have a backlog. And actually Madison here in our office, mainly today and tomorrow, will be clearing that backlog. Frankly, hundreds that kind of got caught in that switchover from around the 19th of April until today, over the past week, when Scott was developing 2.0. So those that have been submitted before during that time frame will be put in, and you'll receive credit for it. But they won't be going to your unique page. They'll be going on this main page, and then your name will be here. So it is much more valuable for you to drive prospects to your link, to get a link free, and then drive prospects to your page. I don't think you're going to have near the success of just dumping leads in to your form, because again, what happens after the prospect or you, whomever, fills out this page? You hit the blue bar, it takes you to the next page, which is to agree to the terms and conditions. You would be committing fraud. It would be a criminal event for you to sign up someone on that second page, because now you're signing a contract as them, even though they don't pay anything, and you're signing their signature. So I wouldn't do that, right? And if you do the first step and hit the blue bar, it takes you to the second step. So I would change, if anyone, any of you have been just dumping leads in, I would change that. I would briefly educate them on this proposition. You'll have the page, you've got the video. It's real easy to communicate that and have them fill this out. And they can do it on their phone, their iPad, their computer, because once they fill it out, they hit the blue button, takes them to the next page, which is not shown here, which are the terms and conditions. If you want to just dump people in here, you can just put in a bunch of people's first name, last name, email, phone. You don't have to put referred by because it'll be hard coded to you. That's okay. You're not doing anything wrong. And then the system, the automated system that Scott's built will drip them emails and text to encourage them to enroll. So that's better than doing nothing. So it's like everything in life, good, better, and best. Best would be for you to generate awareness of the proposition, drive people to your landing page, and have them fill it out. That would be best. Best would be you're actually on the phone with them or in person with them while they do this. Next best option would be to just refer people to your landing page. You can get free here. And then the least of the options, which is still an option, would be for you to just start putting in names, emails, and phone. But again, for the reason we talked about, Once this blue bar is clicked, then it's going to take you to the next page, which is not visible here. It's going to be for them to accept the terms and conditions. You do not want to accept the terms and conditions for them. That's fraudulent. But if you did step 1, you didn't do step 2, then the system will be automatically reminding them. Lasha asked about where to track leads. And so once you come to 4weekfunding.org, fill out this information, click the blue bar, the system will create a unique URL link for you. We'll provide you a link to your back office, Lasha, and then you'll be able to go check status. So you'll have a back office. Let's see, Hannah says she can't see the page I'm on. All right, well, I apologize for that. So let me stop the share for a second. And then I'll restart the share. Okay, hopefully that's sharing here. Okay, so in summary, there are different ways that you can submit clients in. I strongly encourage you to consider using the free 4-week funding program, regardless of the circumstance, even if you're a white label partner. I would start with this because it's so much easier to get someone to sign up for something that's free, that's valuable, and then essentially help them do more. If you want to call it an upsell, you can call it upsell, but to help them do more once they've seen some value, they've seen some success, there's trust, there's results being generated. So you know as well as I do, in this 4-week process, week 1, we're going to start working on their business plan. We pay for the software that they use to develop their business plan and financial projections. That cost isn't passed on to you or the client. We absorb it. It's paid for by the grant. So they're seeing value after week 1, and they're having weekly calls with their mentor. Here. Week 2, we're working on their business credit, building out their Dun & Bradstreet. They're seeing value. We're helping them get at least $10,000 under their EIN. Week 3, we're helping them work on collateral topics, their balance sheet, their key person policies. They're seeing value. They realize there are things that they didn't have in place that they need, and we're solving those problems. We're filling those credibility gaps. And then week 4, we pull everything together. So at any point during that process, you as a white label partner could let them, you could let them know, hey, I see that you're in the 4-week funding program. How's that going with your mentor? Great, awesome. Did you know that we can go ahead and take you to funding now, what we call first tranche financing? Would you like to get some funding now, even while you're going through the 28-day process? And they're probably going to say, well, yeah, I'd like to see what type of funding I could get right now. And so then as a white label partner, then you would go ahead and get them under contract with your access to capital program. And so then we can go ahead and get them funding while they're going through the process. They're not required to do that, but they do have access to funding essentially on day 1, if that's what you want to do. But I hope that you can see by offering, we're going to be able to cast a very wide net with a strong value proposition. And you can leave it at that and do nothing else and make around $5,000 per client. Or if you want to get engaged as a white label partner, then you can pivot them over to your access to capital. And at that point, they're going to be able to receive funding right away. And you're going to be able to control how much money you make from that funding. All right, any other questions? I think it's a huge deal. It's a big deal. I think we're going to enroll a massive number of people, and so thankful for Scott Stroud and those of you that have helped build this infrastructure so we can handle that volume. It's very exciting. So those of you that wanted easy and lucrative, here it is. Those of you that wanted a better funnel to drive people into yourself as a white label partner, here it is. This is the answer to both of those. All right. Well, thanks, everyone. Hope you'll go to 4weekfunding.org. Go ahead and get signed up. Didn't cost anything. We'd like you to go through the curriculum yourself so you understand it, receive the benefits. But this is the same form to become, again, what we call a referral partner or an affiliate. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.